Welcome back again, guys. So last week we had I would say a stimulating conversation on different things. Of course, we talked about things that were affecting the community. We looked at one thing that was really hot last week was the boat yard up in Virgin Gorda. Since I came in, I saw at least 3 texts, you know, thanking us for mentioning that, and hope that we can get some action on that. So I'm hoping that the government official, I know those guys, I know you guys are watching, so we thank you for watching and listening to what the people have to say, and hope that you can, you know, address those concerns. Obviously, when it comes to health, it's more than important to deal with that, because, you know, a healthy population means we don't have a productive population, and we need our people healthy in order for us to grow. So we're hoping that you know, the ministers and the folks who are in the government are paying keen attention to these things. So, and going forward, again, we had a number of things. I'm just going to read off a few of those things that were in the news that I know you guys are probably interested in wanting to talk about, which is fine. Of course, our show is open to anything. It's called Speak Your Mind. All I ask is that when you call, you know, if you have something that you want to really talk about, express yourself, but, you know, be on alert. You know, don't call and disrespect other people and call other people down. If you're having a problem with the system, say you're having a problem with the system. If it's something that was in the news, it's in the House, you're quoting someone, what someone else said, whether it's a government minister, those things are fine. But don't call and you know, be rude and tell people to shut up, or you don't know what you're talking about, or that person is doing this when it's not true. Say things that are true, and that way we all can have an informative conversation about what's really affecting us. So tonight on my agenda, the 2 things I would like to hear, I would like to get some feedback on, is the tourism, how you guys feel about tourism, and the economy, the state of the economy. How do you view the economy? What do you think is happening in the economy right now? How is the economy working for you? Is it affecting your daily life? You know, of course, where the government is seeing a slowdown in activities, business activities. We're seeing a huge slowdown in tourism arrival. Of course, we know it's slow time, slow season, summertime. Normally, we usually get a little bit of tourists around this year, but it seems like it's a lot less this year. So I'm wondering if we are just now starting to really experience the ripple, the slowdown, or the waves is what's hitting us. So I want to hear from you. I want to know how you feel about it. What do you think is happening right now? Of course, tourism and the economy is almost like one thing you're talking about. But when I talk about the economy, I want to do a little focusing on the financial services sector. You know, those are the 2 pillars, the tourism economy and the financial services economy. How do you guys view those 2? What do you think? What are your suggestions in trying to improve them? What do you think that the government should be focusing on, or what can we as citizens also help and focus on to help improve the 2 sectors? So I'll come back to the 2 of those just to go down the news lead. I got a text when I came in, said something about more beach activity needed to help boost the tourism economy. People think that by having more beach activity, we could probably encourage more people to come and visit the BVI. What do you think about that? You know, between August, September, the middle of October, you know, we usually see a slow time. I mean, I was in Cane Garden Bay on Sunday last week, and I tell you, my little boy went to the beach and he came back and he said, "Daddy, there's nobody here." He said, "There's nobody here on the beach." I said, "Well, you know, Nicholas, it's slow time." He said, "What is slow time? What does that mean?" You know, and he was smart enough. He said, "We're on an island. You're not supposed to have any slow time." You know, so a 9-year-old could think about that, and he's saying those kind of things. What are we not doing to help increase tourism in the country is something that I would like to hear from you guys. Of course, the people who are responsible for tourism is listening. They also soliciting feedback. The Tourist Board is doing a wonderful job. They have a website online called bvitalktourism.com. If you don't know about that website, I want to give them a plug. It's called bvitourismtalk.com, and it's necessary. It's a blog site. What it does, it's try to solicit your input as a player, as a partner in the business. They want to hear from you. They want to know what you think. What can we do to help improve tourism? So it's bvitalktourism.com. Again, it's a blog site. You can go online. We can talk about different things. They have different questions up there, and you can respond directly to those questions. So all you bloggers that like to go on some of these other sites and blog about things that are really not that important, let's start putting our heads together and blog about things that matters. Tourism and financial services are two major pillars in this country that we all need to be a part of. We need to be more aware of them. We need to find ways that we can help within ourselves to help improve the industry. So again, that was a text. Somebody suggested that, you know, maybe we could do more beach activity during the slow time to bring more attention to the island. Somebody also said something about more sailing activity, and maybe we could bring some of those sailing activity to the summertime versus the springtime. It will maybe bring some more attention to the folks who like to sail, who like to you know, dive. You know, sometimes I listen to a lot of people who speak about tourism, and they say things like, you know, we're not just sand, sun, and sea, and we need to do more. But you know, sometimes I also hear other people say, when you look at an island and you look at the activities, you look at what's available, it's really only sand, sun, and sea. I mean, besides culture, we don't have a whole lot of culture activity in the BVI. We don't have a lot of our historical sites are not up to date. They're not up to par. They're not good welcome centers. So we don't really push culture in historical tours. So most people that come here, they come here to sail. That involves the sea. You know, when they sail to another island, they go into a cove. That involves, you know, beach activities, snorkeling, swimming, you know. So most of the folks who come here, even the folks who come and stay in the villas, in the hotels, you know, if the sea is not available, if there's not an excursion to Virgin Gorda, or the baths is not available, or they don't see the sunshine where, you know, it makes them feel good, they're not going to come here. They don't want to come to an island and not experience those things. They want to experience sand, sun, and sea. So I personally believe that we could put more emphasis in marketing our sand, sun, and sea. We can put more time and energy into seeking those people that love to sail, the people that love to enjoy our waters. We have some of the most beautiful waters anywhere in the world, you know, bar none. We have some of the most beautiful coves with all these islands and keys. Those things makes a really great tourism destination. So it's something that you know, I wish people would stop saying and start saying, you know, we have what we have, and let's find ways to enhance it. Let's find ways to encourage more people to enjoy it. Let's find ways to get more people involved and be aware that we're here and this is part of what we offer. So next comment, I see something here in the news. It said something about fees. This here related to the fees that the government raised on the visa. I know we had a number of calls last week. Many people felt as if the government was pretty harsh on them. It's unfair. I did a little homework this past week. You know, I was in conversation this whole week with different people who had, you know, different point of views on that, you know, about the fees. And after I took some time out, I called immigration, I called, you know, the passport office, I called the deputy governor's office. I didn't really get a chance to speak to anyone in the deputy governor's office, but I spoke to someone in immigration and someone in the passport department. And, you know, I just want to let the folks know that, you know, it's up to 93 different countries that are on the visa list. 93 different countries. I don't know if that's a shock, but if you didn't know, it's not just 5 or 6 Caribbean countries or countries close to the Caribbean. It's countries all over the world that have to obtain a visa to come to the BVI. Whether you're coming as a tourist or you're coming in to work, you have to get a visa, and it's 93 different countries. So I'm only saying this because I know people are saying, you know, the people who are talking feel as if it's only them. It's not just you. But, you know, the flip side of that is that you have to ask yourself, you know, with all the exemption that the government is giving us, I mean, you're talking about the $10,000 exemption up to that threshold before you start paying taxes. That's a huge savings for a lot of us, and that's across the board. That's not just me as a BVI lender. That's everybody. If you're paying tax in this country, you're exempt up to $10,000, and the government is even talking about raising that to $15,000, which I think is a bad move. I mean, if you keep giving away everything, you're not going to make any money, and then the government going to fall, because right now the government is struggling to find ways to continue to provide the service that they're providing. Somebody's asking what services? Hospital services. Many of us go to the hospital. Sometimes we don't have all the money to pay. And you know, recently we saw in the news where, you know, the hospital bill is sky high, and the folks who are running that now have to find ways to, you know, collect that money. So, I mean, our system is really, really good. We're helping a lot of people. You know, you might not be making a lot of money, but the mere fact that you, yourself, or your kids can go to the hospital, kids are covered. And I don't even think they ask kids who are not from here, who are not born in the BVI, to pay extra. I think everybody's covered under the same way. So many folks who are not from the BVI who are squabbling about their high visa fees, it's something to think about. There's savings. You know, you go, if you're able to go to St. Thomas or Puerto Rico and shop, which a lot of us do, you go down there, and the government again just announced the reduction of taxes again to come into the country when you bring your goods and services, your product inside the country. You're not paying a whole lot of duties on that. I mean, when the government is losing money on one end, they has to try to make it up on the other end. So, you know, and then also people are looking at the amount of money that folks work for. You say it's not a lot of money, but then, you know, every Friday, every Saturday, you can find, you know, something to send home, you know, to other folks. And we understand that you have to help other folks back home, and that's fine. You should help other folks if you need to help other folks. But at the same time, then, you know, one time a year, some people exempt on a visa. They only have to apply every 5 years, every 4 years. So it's not like everybody is really hurting on that. So it's something to think about. I'm not saying that it's right, and I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm simply saying that, you know, we have to weigh, you know, both ends. You can't just say, oh, it's bad on you, when it's 93 different countries and different sets of people that are being exempt, that have to pay, you know, visa fees. So the fees apply to everybody. But again, you know, it's really how you feel about it. Call and let us know. I mean, you know, if more people complain about it, and you have a large number of people that are not happy with it, obviously the government will take a second look and see where they can find a middle ground. I mean, I think we have a government that's willing to listen, you know, in some of these areas. So why not, you know, call and say what you have to say. The airport, this was a text. Someone was asking, they said they saw some information about the airport. Of course, in the last house, the minister just came back from overseas. He talked about visiting 2 different countries, looking at some of the challenges those countries had. So I think we're moving forward in the airport. Again, the airport, in my view, is a really good thing. We have to have that airport, because if you're looking at, again, tourism is something I want to talk about tonight. We're looking at our tourism numbers being down, and the fact that many of the people that come to the BVI right now is utilizing the U.S. Virgin Islands. St. Thomas is making tons of money off the BVI, and it's something that we should try to do something about. You know, you think about all the tax money that are being paid just to fly into the USVI, of course, and you know, government taxes and so forth. And then you're losing, I think you're losing market share, because I'm sure there's a percentage of those people that are, you know, you know, they fly into St. Thomas for the first time. They fly there because they couldn't fly anywhere else. And then, you know, when they get to St. Thomas, some of them are probably saying, hey, St. Thomas look like a really nice place. You're in competition with these guys, and you don't want to give them any opportunity to compete against you. And that's one way of competing. You know, you're losing the chance of getting those people as return customers. They'll come here anyway because they already paid. But when they leave, they might say, let's take another look at St. Thomas versus the BVI. So it's something that, you know, we got to think about. And if we're going to build our tourism numbers, we want to get people here directly. We want to get them in the island. We want them to enjoy our sand, sun, and sea. We want them to enjoy our beautiful hotels. We got a lot of them here in the country, and enjoy our sailing and so forth. So we want them direct. We don't want them to Antigua. We don't want them to Puerto Rico. We don't want them to St. Thomas. If we could help that, let's change it. All right. So that's something we really need to support and push. In the news, we had there was a headline talking about medallion system for the taxi guys. The news said that many taxi guys are in favor. Obviously, I don't know who the many taxi guys are, but I think more education is needed in the medallion system. The idea of medallion, what does it mean? What kind of benefit does it bring? Who qualifies for a medallion? Is the government going to recognize, and the government and the banking system going to recognize a medallion? Can we afford to buy them to start with? You know, so it's definitely something that needs a lot of conversation. Of course, you know, for the older guys who are probably medically disabled, that have been in the business for a long time, I think this will be a great thing for them, because then you can earn another form of income. If you're not able to drive yourself, if you own a medallion or two, you're able to rent those medallions to someone else who, you know, has a taxi license but don't have access to a vehicle. So, and, you know, again, it has its pros and cons, but it does need some conversation. We need to talk more about it. So, another hot topic, of course, we saw something in the news this week about Seacoast Bay project, the reclamation of land down there. I guess there was a report done, and you know, it's supposed to be tabled in the House pretty soon. So it doesn't seem from the way the news article is written as if information or the process was in good governance. So that's going to be in the House. Let's wait till when it reached the House, and then we can comment more on that. We don't have any information on it other than what we read in the paper. Seacoast Bay project, you know, has some dark clouds over it. Beach access, another big hot topic this week. Beach access, of course, government really has to do something about our beach access. People who are developing or have developed properties, hotels, and so forth around some of these beaches, or you know, doing what they think they have a right to do. They're within their rights to protect the beach, to protect themselves, their land, their access. Then you have other people who are, you know, victim to you know, forced removal or being told or denied access to the beach. And I think that, you know, the people responsible for educating the public on beach access, the people who will build around these beaches, should also be educated, you know, about, you know, the Physical Planning Act that relates to access to beach, seaward, landward. I really believe that more needs to be done, and I would call on the representatives of each district, you know, that have beaches that people frequent, to have community meetings, to really work and talk with people and educate them on their rights, because, you know, that's what a representative is supposed to do. You're supposed to be able to get to them and have those kind of conversations. So, ladies and gentlemen, I talk enough. We're going to take a break in the next few minutes. When we come back, the phone line is going to be wide open. Again, I put some things out there. Tonight, my focus, of course, is tourism. I'm here to try to solicit some ideas from you. and then also talk to and do a little focus on the economy. We want to know how you guys feel about the economy. Where are you right now? How are you coping with the economy? The fact that it's so slow, we see a slowdown in government, we see a slowdown in construction, we see a slowdown in buying and selling, we see a slowdown in the supermarket, you know, activities. So we want to know how you guys feel, what's going on. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back.